the thoughts and ideas of this movie are very palpable. What were some of your favorite or maybe most thought-provoking ideas that you took away from this?
I mean, in a way, it just reinforces the idea where it's like the hubris of man, more or less, where man will, like, because even the whole idea of being God is kind of flown around a few times in the movie. And it's just like, it's almost like a joke the way it's done, but it's also like not completely dismissed either, where it's like, in the way they're creating a new life form, more or less, that'll possibly supersede them and pass them by.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting to see how that plays out and how Nathan like loses his life because of his own pride and hubris.
Yeah.
Like trying to create something.
Well,
and he's like creating it not because he has to, but it's just because he wants to like beat everyone else to it.
Well, yeah, he says it's inevitable.
Yeah.
And so someone might as well jump to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting just because that's kind of the spot we're in today with people in AI. If you hear them talking, there's a sense in which, the cat's out of the bag. We're already on this race. We might as well be the first ones to it, develop the best one possible, make that money or make the one that's going to be okay for the world or whatever your grand mission is. Like that same thought process is what's being touted in the technological race we see today. So it was interesting to see that that's the exact process they thought of in the movie is actually what we're seeing play out in reality. Another idea I thought was interesting was the idea of our relationship with technology, right? And that's this whole idea, like, can you distinguish between what is real and what is not? And this draws that into question. And there is some sense in which we already have some relationship like that today, right? So when we're interacting with, let's just say, some people talk with Alexa or Siri on a simple level. Obviously, we know those are robots, but on a different level, right? It's not uncommon for apps like dating apps or other apps like that, which have profiles, to have fake profiles that will interact with people as if they are a real person. And you might not know in that instance, like you would if it was Siri or Alexa, that there is no one actually on the other side of that. So it's interesting to think that as much as this is supposedly dystopian future, there are some elements of that actually already exist in society today.
I mean, I'm not sure I'd call it dystopian because maybe it's like a few years into the future, but it's not a completely different world from the one we live in. Only given like a slightly, and even then, as you said, the movie has a very small cast. It all takes place pretty much in one location for the most part. Aside from like a few scenes at the beginning and like maybe a few shots at the end. Like other than that, it's like all one facility. So like you don't really get a good look at the world itself. You can kind of assume it's the world we live in.
Well, exactly. Well, and that's, I guess, my question. When you think of a world that is inhabited by those characters, what is your reaction to that?
I mean, either way things work, where it's like, I mean, I've talked to some programmers a few times, and the idea of AI itself, I mean, you think even on a base level, like an AI has to have some kind of goal or program at its core, like some motivation. So I guess the real question for even AI is like, if that was to exist in our world today, what would be the goal implanted? Like, what would be the motive? Because like you could have anything, like it could be to help society or it could be to kill a nation.
Right.
And it's like, that's totally two different things. And one helps humanity, the other destroys it. So it just depends on the man behind the AI, I guess, in a way. So, and what their intentions are.
I get, and maybe this is my lack of understanding around AI. Can that programmed goal change? Because Ava, in this scenario, she escapes, right? And that was what she was clearly programmed to do. What is her goal now that she's escaped? Does she just lose her power and then break down on some back alley?
That's the one thing the movie doesn't exactly explain. Because there's like clearly the two things is she's trying to escape, and even when she talks to not Nathan, Caleb, at one point in the movie, he's like, "Where would you go if you leave a facility?" She said like a busy intersection because she wants to see humanity at work. And she wants to see just as much humanity as she can. So it's like, in a way, you see the fulfillment of her escape and her seeing as much humanity as she can in one spot.
AI gets a
and then she
happy ending.
disappears into the crowd, where it's like it's not clear what happens. Where it's like, where did she go? You don't know. She could break down. She might have found a new goal. She might just decide to keep watching humanity at other intersections. Who knows?
Right.
So it's like, I mean, it's not even, in a way, it's not even important to the story, because it's like the story's kind of is over at that point, because, and you, like, it's not really important as far as the events go, what she does. Like, in a theoretical sense, it would be interesting to explore that, but that goes into other things.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
So